Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In our last class, we discussed about the potential difference between 2 points in the field of a point charge. So, we can define the potential difference as the work done in moving a positive charge from some initial point to a final position. So that is actually the potential difference between 2 points. Today we will discuss about the potential field of a point charge. We will discuss about the potential of a point charge. So let's discuss. In the previous section, we found an expression for the potential difference between 2 points located at r is equal to Ra and r is equal to Rb in the field of a point charge q placed at the origin. So we found out that VAB is equal to q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught 1 over Ra minus 1 over Rb. Or we can define this relation as the potential at point A and the potential at point B. So we had taken a point charge that is placed at the origin, and we found out the potential difference between 2 points located at r is equal to Ra and r is equal to Rb, and we found out that the potential difference between these 2 points is VAB, and it is given by this equation. But remember that in this case we had taken the 2 points along the same radial line, or we can say that we had the same theta and phi coordinate values. It was assumed that the 2 points lay on the same radial line or had the same theta and phi coordinate values, allowing us to set up a simple path on this radial line along which to carry our positive charge. What does that mean actually? It means that we had taken a point charge q and we had placed this point charge at the origin of a spherical coordinate system, and we had found out the potential difference between the 2 points, but those 2 points were taken along the same radial line. It means that this was the radial line, or we can say that if we have one sphere and if we have another sphere, so we had taken this point as point A and this point as point B. So this distance was actually Ra and this distance was actually Rb. So actually we had taken both the points along the same radial line. Now what will happen? If we take the 2 points having the different theta and phi coordinate values, अगर हम दोनों पॉइंट्स along the same radial line लेते हैं तो इन दो पॉइंट्स के लिए जो थीटा और फाई कोऑर्डिनेट्स होते हैं स्फेरिकल कोऑर्डिनेट सिस्टम में, तो ये सेम होते हैं बिकॉज दोनों पॉइंट्स हम सेम रेडियल लाइन पे लेते हैं. अब हम क्या करते हैं कि अब हम दो पॉइंट्स लेते हैं, बट हैविंग डिफरेंट थीटा and phi coordinate values. It means that now we are taking the 2 points A and B along the different radial lines. It means that if we take the point A as this, so हम point B को let's suppose यहाँ लेते हैं. So these 2 points are actually along the different radial lines, and we find out the potential difference between these 2 points A and B. B will be our initial point and A will be our final point. It means that we have to move the charge from the initial point B to the final point A. We have to move the test charge. We have to move the unit charge from the initial point B to the final point A in the field of a point charge Q that is placed at the origin. So, will this affect our answer? अगर हम points different radial lines में लेते हैं, अगर हम ऐसे पॉइंट सेलेक्ट करते हैं जिसके लिए थीटा और फाई कोऑर्डिनेट्स डिफरेंट हो, तो इन दोनों पॉइंट्स के बीच जो पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस है वो चेंज करेगा कि नहीं. इसी तरह अगर हम जो टेस्ट चार्ज है वो बी से ए की तरफ लेके जाते हैं, बट हम कोई कॉम्प्लिकेटेड पाथ मतलब चूज करते हैं, सो विल दिस affect our answer or not? So let's answer out these questions in detail. It was assumed that the 2 points lay on the same radial line. R had the same theta and phi coordinate values, allowing us to set up a simple path on this radial line along which to carry our positive charge. We now should ask whether different theta and phi coordinate values for the initial and final position will affect our answer, and whether we could choose more complicated paths between the 2 points without changing the results. So let us answer both the questions at once by choosing two general points A and B at radial distances of RA and RB and any values for other coordinates. So look at this figure. We have a point charge Q that is placed at the origin of a spherical coordinate system and we selected 2 points A and B, where B is our initial point and A is our final point. So we have to move the positive charge from the initial point B to the final point A along this complicated path. Where we have selected these 2 points in the field of a charge Q that is placed at the origin, and we have selected the spherical coordinate system. As we know that the electric field intensity due to a charge Q that is placed at the origin is given by Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R square into AR. It means that the electric field intensity due to a point charge is radial. So we have selected the spherical coordinate system. तो अब हमने क्या किया कि दो जनरल पॉइंट्स सेलेक्ट किए हैविंग द डिफरेंट radii and having the different theta and phi coordinate values. तो हम क्या करेंगे कि चूंकि हमने VAB फाइंड आउट करना है, तो हम एक पॉजिटिव चार्ज को B से A की तरफ लेके जाएंगे along this radial path. So our DL will be dRAR plus R d theta A theta plus R sin theta d phi A phi. So the differential length has the R component, the theta component and the phi component. But if we look at the electric field intensity has the radial component only. So we know that VAB is equal to minus integral of ER dr, and the integral will range from RB to RA, because RB is our initial point and RA is our final point. So there is a dot product between the electric field intensity and the differential length vector. So if there is a dot product, so AR dot AR will be equal to 1, AR dot A theta will be equal to 0, AR dot Fi will be equal to 0. So only the dr component of the differential length vector is left. And if we solve this integration, the result turns out to be q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught 1 over Ra minus 1 over Rb. So the result is actually the same. Now what does it mean? It means that the potential difference between 2 points A and B actually depends upon the distance of the point from the charge, and it doesn't depend upon the path followed. ये सिर्फ इन डिस्टेंसेस पे डिपेंड करता है, RA और RB पे, पाथ पे डिपेंड नहीं करता. So the result actually turns out to be the same. तो अगर हम सेम रेडियल लाइन पे 2 पॉइंट्स लें या डिफरेंट रेडियल लाइंस पे 2 पॉइंट लें, the result will be the same. अगर हम कोई स्ट्रेट पाथ चूज कर लें या कोई कॉम्प्लिकेटेड पाथ चूज कर लें, the result will turn out to be the same. But remember that the potential difference or the potential field actually depends on the distance of that point from the charge. We obtain the same answer. We obtain the same answer and see therefore that the potential difference between 2 points in the field of a point charge depends only on the distance of each point from the charge. Depends only on the distance of each point from the charge. It means that it depends on RA and RB. If we look at this equation, it only depends on RA and RB, and does not depend on the particular path used to carry our unit charge from one point to another. It means that it doesn't depend upon this path followed. If we use this path, or if we use this type of path, or if we use a straight path, it doesn't depend on the particular path used to carry our unit charge from one point to the other. अब हम पोटेंशियल के लिए जीरो रेफरेंस किस तरह डिफाइन करेंगे? हाउ माइट वी कन्वीनियंटली डिफाइन अ जीरो रेफरेंस फॉर पोटेंशियल? पोटेंशियल के लिए हम जीरो रेफरेंस किस तरह डिफाइन करते हैं? सो इट इज सिंपल कि जो इन्फिनिटी है उसी पे हम पोटेंशियल को जीरो लें. जो इन्फिनिटी है उसी पे हम पोटेंशियल को जीरो लें. या इफ यू लुक एट दिस पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस VAB, so VAB is actually equal to VA minus VB, whereas VA will be equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught RA minus VB will be equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught RB. तो जो RB पॉइंट है, जो B पॉइंट है, अगर उसको हम इन्फिनिटी पे लेके जाए, सो इट विल बी और जीरो रेफरेंस. जब इसको हम इन्फिनिटी पे लेके जाते हैं तो इन्फिनिटी पे जो हमारा पोटेंशियल होगा वो जीरो होगा. जब इन्फिनिटी पे हमारा पोटेंशियल जीरो होगा तो हमारे पास सिर्फ इसी पॉइंट पे पोटेंशियल रह जाएगा. बिकॉज इन आवर लास्ट क्लास वी हैड डिस्कस्ड दैट in order to define a potential we have to define some reference point. We have to take the potential with some reference point. तो अगर इसी पॉइंट पे हमने पोटेंशियल फाइंड आउट करना है, मतलब VA अगर सिर्फ हमने फाइंड आउट करना है इसी पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस से, तो हम क्या करते हैं कि इसी B पॉइंट को हम इन्फिनिटी पे लेके जाते हैं एंड वी लेट V इज इक्वल टू जीरो एट इन्फिनिटी. या अगर हम जीरो रेफरेंस डिफाइन ही नहीं करते तो फिर VB पोटेंशियल को हम एक कांस्टेंट डिक्लेयर करते हैं। VB पोटेंशियल को हम एक कांस्टेंट डिक्लेयर करते हैं, लाइक वी विल सी लेटर, अगर हम जीरो रेफरेंस डिफाइन नहीं करते। So how might we conveniently define a zero reference for potential? The simplest possibility is to let V is equal to 0 at infinity. If we let the point at R is equal to RB recede to infinity, the potential at RA becomes VA is equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught RA. R अगर इस इक्वेशन को हम जनरली लिख लें, मतलब सबस्क्रिप्ट A हम निकालें, R since there is no reason to identify this point with the subscript A, so V will be equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R. So this is actually the potential at any point which is at a distance R from the point charge that is placed at the origin. So now what does this equation actually mean? It means that अगर हमने एक पॉइंट पे पोटेंशियल फाइंड आउट करना हो जो पॉइंट चार्ज से r डिस्टेंस पे है, तो हम क्या करेंगे कि एक यूनिट चार्ज को इन्फिनिटी से लेके आएंगे इसी पॉइंट पे। तो इसी पॉइंट तक वो जितना वर्क डन परफॉर्म करेगा, दैट विल बी एक्चुअली द पोटेंशियल एट दिस पॉइंट। सो इट मींस दैट Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R, Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R joules of work must be done in carrying a 1 coulomb charge from infinity to any point R meters from the charge. तो ये इसी पॉइंट पे पोटेंशियल डिफाइन होगा। This expression defines the potential at any point that is at a distance r from a point charge q that is placed at the origin. The potential at infinite radius must be taken as the zero reference, as we already said. Returning to a physical interpretation, we may say that Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R joules of work must be done in carrying a 1 coulomb charge from infinity to any point, that is R meters from the charge Q. It means that if we have a charge Q that is placed at the origin, and if we want to find the potential at this point A, and if this point A is at a distance r meters from the point charge, so the potential at this point will be equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R. It means that हम क्या करेंगे कि इंफिनिटी से एक 1 कूलम चार्ज हम इसी पॉइंट पे लेके आएंगे। तो जब इंफिनिटी से हम 1 कूलम चार्ज इसी पॉइंट पे लेके आते हैं, तो उसके लिए वर्क रिक्वायर्ड होता है, मतलब हम वर्क डन करेंगे। सो दिस अमाउंट ऑफ वर्क इज एक्चुअली डन बाय द 1 कूलम चार्ज to carry it out from the infinity to this point. So it will be the potential at this point, which is at a distance r from the charge q which is placed at the origin. So V will be equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r. So this was actually the potential at any point at a distance r from the charge q. एक दूसरी बात हमने डिस्कस की थी कि अगर हम जीरो रेफरेंस सेलेक्ट नहीं करते, a convenient method to express the potential without selecting a specific zero reference entails identifying RA as R, कि RA को हम R डिक्लेयर कर ले once again, and letting Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught RB be a constant, कि जो B पे पोटेंशियल है इसको हम एक कांस्टेंट डिक्लेयर कर ले, तो हमारे पास V पोटेंशियल फाइंड आउट हो जाएगा। So V will be equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R plus C1 where C1 is a constant. और C1 हम किस तरह सेलेक्ट करेंगे कि any desired value of R पे V हमारे पास 0 आ जाए। जाहिर बात है जब हम C1 constant फाइंड आउट करते हैं तो V को हम 0 करेंगे at any desired value of R, तो हम C1 सेलेक्ट कर सकेंगे। And C1 may be selected so that V is equal to 0 at any desired value of R. We could also select the 0 reference indirectly. This is another method. We could also select the 0 reference indirectly by electing to let V be V0 at R is equal to R0. And it should also be noted that the potential difference between 2 points is not a function of C1. It will not be a function of C1 because now we are defining the potential at any point that is at a distance R from the charge Q which is placed at the origin. So चूंकि यहाँ पे हम potential define कर रहे हैं तो हम क्या करते हैं कि जो B point पे potential है उसको हम एक constant declare करते हैं. So the potential difference is actually not a function of C1. Equation A represents the potential field of a point charge. Equation A मतलब this equation or this equation actually represents the potential field of a point charge. The potential is a scalar field and does not involve any unit vector. क्योंकि ये scalar function है तो इसके लिए कोई unit vector define करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Now let's talk about the equipotential surface. Equipotential surface is a surface composed of all those points having the same value of potential. मतलब अगर उसी surface पे हम charge move कर लें तो कोई work done perform नहीं होता, कोई work done नहीं होता, कोई work perform नहीं होता. तो ऐसे surfaces जिसपे potential same रहता है, so that is actually the equipotential surface. What does it mean? अगर हम point charge consider कर लें, अगर हम एक पॉइंट चार्ज कंसीडर कर लें, सही है, तो और अगर हम एक स्फीयर लें अराउंड दिस पॉइंट चार्ज, तो अगर हम ये पॉइंट ले या ये पॉइंट ले या ये पॉइंट ले या ये पॉइंट ले, अगर इसी पॉइंट से हम इसी पॉइंट की तरफ आते हैं, इसी पॉइंट से हम इसी पॉइंट की तरफ आते हैं या इसी पॉइंट से हम इसी पॉइंट की तरफ आते हैं, द वर्क डन विल बी 0. क्यों? क्योंकि अगर हम इसी पॉइंट से इसी पॉइंट की तरफ आते हैं या इसी पॉइंट से इसी पॉइंट की तरफ आते हैं तो कोई वर्क परफॉर्म नहीं होता, कोई वर्क डन नहीं होता. क्यों? बिकॉज दीज पॉइंट्स आर एट द सेम डिस्टेंस फ्रॉम द चार्ज. चूंकि मतलब इफ दिस इज आर ए सो दिस विल बी आल्सो आर ए. चूंकि ये पॉइंट्स जो है सेम डिस्टेंस पे है चार्ज क्यू से, जब सेम डिस्टेंस पे है सो the potential at these points will remain the same, so there will be no potential difference between these 2 points. हाँ, अगर एक पॉइंट हम ये कंसीडर कर लें और दूसरा पॉइंट हम ये कंसीडर कर लें, so there will be a potential difference between these 2 points because these 2 points do not lie on the same surface. लेकिन अगर हम एक ये पॉइंट कंसीडर कर लें और एक ये पॉइंट कंसीडर कर लें, so there will be no potential difference between these 2 points because these 2 points are at the same distance from the charge q. So such a surface along which the potential remains the same is actually called an equipotential surface. It means that if we move a test charge or if we move a unit charge along that surface, there will be no work done or there will be no work performed. So such a surface is actually called an equipotential surface. Like अगर हम एक point charge लें origin पे, तो उसके इर्द गिर्द जितने भी हम spheres लेते हैं, so those spheres will be actually the equipotential surfaces. अगर हम एक पॉइंट चार्ज ओरिजिन पे लेते हैं और उसके अराउंड हम स्फीयर्स लेते हैं, so those spheres will actually act as an equipotential surface. No work is involved in moving a unit charge around on an equipotential surface. For by definition, there is no potential difference between any 2 points on this surface. The equipotential surfaces in the potential field of a point charge are spheres centered at the point charge. An inspection of the form of potential field of a point charge shows that it is an inverse distance field, whereas the electric field intensity was found to be an inverse square relationship. What does it mean? It means that if we look at the potential at point A, so it is equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R. Similarly, this is actually the potential field at a point in the field of a point charge. मतलब अगर एक पॉइंट चार्ज है जो ओरिजिन पे प्लेस्ड है तो उसके फील्ड में ये एक पॉइंट पे पोटेंशियल होगा जो उसी पॉइंट चार्ज से आर डिस्टेंस पे लोकेट हो. Now, what is actually the electric field intensity due to a point charge? The electric field intensity is equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R square. So the potential is actually inversely proportional to the distance from the point charge, whereas the electric field intensity is inversely proportional to the square of the distance. So there is an inverse square relationship between the electric field intensity and the distance due to a point charge. And if we look at the potential, it is equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R. So it is inversely proportional to the distance only, whereas the electric field intensity is inversely proportional to the square of the distance due to a point charge. So that is the main difference between the electric field intensity and the potential field of a point charge. So this was all about the potential field of a point charge. In our next class, we will discuss about the potential field of a system of charges. If you have any question, you can ask. Thank you.